Was the whistle ever really silent, or was it simply aimed the other way? On May 24, 2025, Gainbridge Fieldhouse erupted when Natasha Cloud's arm locked around Caitlin Clark with 2.9 seconds left, and nothing but air came from the official's mouth. The Liberty celebrated a 90-88 escape. Clark looked at the ref crew in disbelief. Head coach Stephanie White stalked toward the scorer's table, already gathering her words. What sat on the scoreboard felt smaller than the number buried in the box score. -31 in free throw attempts across Indiana's last 3 games. That gap wasn't an eyebrow-raising statistic. It was the match that lit a fan uprising. But that 2-point heartbreak was only the tip of a much uglier iceberg. The game the whistle forgot. Aaliyah Boston battered New York's vaunted front line for 27 points and 13 boards. Lexi Hull stuffed 15 in her first start, and Indiana mauled the champs by 17 in a third-quarter surge that had Barkley's stars coughing up timeouts. Yet the box score's quiet column, free throws, roared louder than any chant. The Liberty strode to the charity stripe 32 times. Indiana got 15 cracks. Double the chances, double the margin. When the horn settled, that differential was the game. How do you lose after outplaying the champs for 30 minutes? Simple. You play 5 on 8. Still, the Fever's late-game offense worked to perfection. With 12.4 seconds, they led by 2 before a phantom whistle on Hull gifted Sabrina Ionescu the go-ahead free throws. Seconds later, Dana Bonner's driving layup attempt met a forearm that would have drawn a flagrant in June's youth camp. Silence. Then Cloud's final mugging of Clark sealed the theft. 3 consecutive whistles, or non-whistles, cut the same direction. The sequence went viral in less time than it takes Clark to fire a logo 3, Fox News. But that pattern had roots stretching back through the calendar. A season of silent whistles. 4 nights earlier in Atlanta, Clark watched 2 Dream defenders sandwich her on a sideline inbound with no call. She later told reporters some misses were point blank. White echoed the frustration. Add them up, -31 in free throw attempts over a 3-game span for a team whose offense gobbles paint touches. If Indiana were a jump shooting outfit, maybe the math passes. They're not. Their attack is post seals, rim cuts, and Clark's relentless downhill pressure. The disconnect smells like something worse than random variance. Viewers outside Indiana noticed. Threads on our WNBA that usually hit double-digit comments ballooned beyond 1,000 overnight, with posters comparing officiating to changing the rhythm of the game completely. One fan clipped every missed whistle from the Fever's first 4 outings, 14 minutes of tape that now sits at 1.2 million X impressions. Anger needs an outlet, and 2025 gave it one in real time. Fix the refs takes over. Within 48 hours of the Liberty loss, the hashtag #FixTheRefs trended top 5 in U.S. sports. TalkSport's write-up of White's egregious accusation racked thousands of quote posts. Fox News' reel of Clark barking at the baseline ref climbed past 1 million views, and debate shows across 3 networks built monologues around good-for-the-game conspiracies. A Change.org petition calling on the WNBA to implement full-time officials and public last 2-minute L2M reports crossed 35,000 signatures before noon on Monday. College hoops influencers, hungry to keep Clark's spotlight burning, flocked to the cause, amplifying every slowed replay. By Tuesday, even normally neutral commentators wondered out loud if the league's explosive popularity was outrunning its infrastructure. The anger had found a unifying banner. Now it went looking for a motive. And big money never hides for long. Big market optics. Bigger suspicion. 3 weeks before the whistle firestorm, the Liberty unveiled a multi-million-dollar lower jersey patch with Liberty Mutual, replacing Webull and giving the champs the WNBA's richest kit deal to date. In the same window, league sources confirmed New York would appear on national television 14 times, 5 more than any other club. To a frustrated small market, that's enough smoke to suspect a coast-to-coast blaze. Protect the flagship, shield the sponsors, keep Gotham's stars in primetime. Whether the theory holds water matters less than how loudly it echoes in online spaces. Conspiracy thrives when the data gap is yawning. White, meanwhile, refused to bite at the bait of league favoritism, but she did punch a hole in the shield officials usually enjoy. Stephanie White's mic drop moment expanded. She strode into the media room still in her warm-up, ponytail damp, eyes locked straight ahead. No stat sheet shuffle, no throat clearing. She set her water down, leaned into the mic, and fired the opening volley. I thought she got fouled. I think it's pretty egregious what's been happening to us the last few games. The word egregious hung in the air like a halftime buzzer. Then the follow-through. We're attacking the rim. We're not out there just chucking threes. And the disrespect for our team has been unbelievable. 2 sentences, heavy as anvils, and everyone in the room, Aaliyah Boston on her left, Lexi Hull on her right, nodded in silent agreement. White didn't stop at the missed whistle on Caitlin Clark. She zoomed out to the uncomfortable math, a -31 free throw gap across 4 nights. If the contact was even, she argued, we're talking about a different record. Reporters could see the frustration etched in the players' folded arms. They had lived every uncalled slap and shove. Then she went after the league's complaint pipeline itself. There's a system to send stuff in and communicate our grievances. I don't know that I ever feel like the system works. Inside the W, coaches upload clips to a secure portal. Within 48 hours, the officiating office replies with a yes/no ruling and, occasionally, an apology. What doesn't come back is a reversal, a replay, or a public accounting. White all but said the quiet part out loud. If the back channel is broken, we'll air it out on the main stage. The blast radius was instant. Sports talk producers clipped the entire 96-second rant. By sunrise, the hashtag egregious was stamped on fan signs and t-shirts outside Gainbridge Fieldhouse. An overnightchange.org petition demanding full-time refs picked up 30,000 signatures, while debate shows speculated how big the fine might be, up to $2,500 under league bylaws, though precedent is fuzzy after Cheryl Reeve escaped punishment for a similar 2024 finals tirade. White sounded unbothered. Fines are line-item expenses, credibility is priceless. Her message to league brass was unmistakable: protect the players or prepare to be called out, on camera, in prime time, every single night. And that's why Fever fans left the presser buzzing louder than after any win. Their coach had just drawn a line, one that runs straight through the league office, and, if nothing changes, straight into the next highlight reel of blown whistles. Inside the Zebra Factory, unlike their NBA counterparts, WNBA referees are still technically part-time contractors. Most spend winters in minor pro circuits or college gyms, then jump into summer W games after a brief spring clinic. Performance reviews flow through the NBA's development pipeline, but resources remain thin, and, crucially, the league does not issue public L2M breakdowns the way the NBA does, a transparency gap that breeds speculation. Even NBA Commissioner Adam Silver has mused about balancing accountability with privacy in officiating grades, though no hard reform has reached the W's floor. As one veteran official told SB Nation in January, errors feel louder when the lights get brighter and the lights on Caitlin Clark are blinding. Fans hear part-time and translate it to amateurs, fair or not. Combine that perception with Clark's mainstream draw, and you cultivate a powder keg. Every missed whistle threatens the league's credibility, yet the mechanisms for publicly correcting mistakes remain hidden behind internal memos. For Indiana, all that frustration is already forging something more dangerous than outrage. The fire rising in Indy. Start with the numbers. Clark averages 19 points and a league-best 9.3 dimes while eating elbows nightly. Boston, liberated by Clark's gravity, is up to 18-11 on 57% shooting. Hull's leap into the starting five adds a 40% three-point threat. And despite the officiating gauntlet, the Fever sit one defensive stop away from 4-0. Clark called it herself. Feels like every game we've really only put 2 quarters together. Translation: this is an unfinished product already trading haymakers with champions. Inside the locker room, players talk about finishing through contact rather than relying on whistles. Coaches drill extra push-ups for missed box outs, turning ref angst into actionable habits. fans lean into an us against everyone howl that rattles rafters. Adversity arriving in May instead of August means a crash course in playoff toughness delivered on the league's dime. And now the calendar circles one date in red ink. All eyes on June 14th. The rematch lands in Indianapolis, ABC cameras in tow, Liberty Mutual patches glistening under national lights. Fever supporters cleaned out Upper Bowl tickets 3 weeks early. Resale platforms already triple face value. Local sports bars market the matinee as Receipts Day, promising freeze-frame giveaways of the Cloud Clark no call on every table coaster. Whether the league assigns its highest-graded crew, or, as some fans demand, an NBA crossover ref, June 14th is primed to become a referendum on everything swirling around the W right now. Another whistle disaster and conspiracy talk rockets to Saturn. A clean, classic game, and maybe the narrative tilts back toward hoops. Either way, the Fever walk in armed with lessons no stat sheet captures. Whistle or no whistle, the Fever have found their identity. Championship DNA isn't stamped in blowouts, it's soldered in one-possession furnace rooms where frustration tests the seams. Indiana just survived its first inferno and came out louder, sharper, and most of all, together. If biased whistles could break them, they would already be broken. Instead, they're angrier, deeper, and suddenly the most compelling underdogs in women's basketball. So the next time a game hinges on a silent whistle, don't just watch the refs, watch the reaction. Because every missed call is adding octane to a season-long fire, and by September the league may learn the hardest lesson of all. Nothing burns brighter than a team that knows it was robbed and plans to steal the stage right back.